just for a day, guys. Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
money.
Let's get to the
money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I will never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-Prop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies. Get in. Welcome to the Balking Dead. I am your host, Sharpie's Bets, and this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. So if you haven't, please go on over to PrizePicks. Use that promo code PubSports. Why? With your first match deposit up to $100, they are going to match it. So 25 to 100, they got you. Not just that, guys. Smash the fucking like on your way in here. And it's Tuesday, not just Tuesday. We've got aces and aces and aces to talk about, so we had to bring in the big guns. I had to bring in the only motherfucker in this world that I talk K-props with, and I have to talk K-props with him, with you guys today. Christopher Gargaro, a.k.a. the Spin Doctor. How are you doing today, my guy?
Doing good. Glad to be back. Thanks for having me on again, and yeah, it's a huge card today, man. I know we were talking about before the show. I was having a huge problem cutting the list down without like playing just a ton of guys. So there's a lot of stuff that I like. So let's not waste time. Let's get to it.
Exactly. And let's talk about these 6 guys. Shout out to the Twitter world. If you haven't already, this video will end shortly. So hit the link. Come join the livest chat in the prop world market. We ain't wager CAC. We ain't selling you no fucking plays. We're going to tell you what we're betting, and you're going to cash with us. Why, guys? Because we fuck these bookies in the eye hole, guys. And after yesterday, we back on track. Bassett took us right on in to the promised land. And let's get into some more, guys, because like he said, I'm ready to just unload today, but I had to be careful with a little bit of rain, a little bit of this. So let's talk about the first guy we're going to talk about, and that's my fucking candy cane, Zach Wheeler. It's going up versus the Marlins. His K-prop is 8+ minus 104, and on PrizePicks, it's at a 7+ minus 141, and his fantasy score is 43.5. Over his last 10, he's averaging 6.2 strikeouts. Over his last 8, 6.4, and over his last 6, 5.8. Number 16 in the black book. My guy, your guy, our guy. He averages the same strikeouts home and road, 9.6 strikeouts per 9, and versus the left-handed side, strikes out 10 per 9 compared to a 9.4 versus the right-handed side. Projected lineups is 7 right-handers and 2 left-handed bats. All right, I get it, guys. He has a beast-ass 1.5 home ERA and a road 3.8. And I heard someone say today that Zach Wheeler got bombed on by these Miami Marlins earlier in the year. And I'm going to tell you this. No, he didn't. His cousin or his little brother got bombed on. That wasn't Zach fucking Wheeler, guys. His first 4 weeks of the season, his velocity was down. He was throwing 94 miles per hour. His spin rate was down. Everything was down because that velo. By the 4th game of the year, 5th game coming into it, his velo was back to 97. And since then, he's been Zach fucking Wheeler, guys. So the Miami Marlins did not see Zach Wheeler in prime form where he's at now. And like I said last week when we were on him then, guys, and we've been on him a lot this year, and he's on the fucking not fuck the bookies tour, but fuck the MLB snub tour, guys. This guy got snubbed from the freaking All-Star game, and he's pissed about it, and he mentioned it. And I love when a guy carries a chip into him and into everything. And they put his K prop at 7+ minus 141 this morning. They opened it last night at a 7+ minus 125. So only a 15-cent move and juice to the over. And I get it, guys. I'm on him for a half unit. I wanted to dirty K it, but I am scared of the rain. But my guy Noli told me after I was scared of the rain to not be scared of this rain, that the rain will die down at first pitch, that it is supposed to go down. I did see some things about thunderstorms, so I'm going to have to do a little more weather searching until I make it a full unit play, but he will be a half unit play for sure. He would have been a full unit play if it wasn't for that rain/thunderstorms, but let's talk about it, guys. Since the 5th game of the year, this man has 7+ strikeouts in 12 of 17 games. We look into the black book, guys. We didn't play him 3 of those 5 games. So 2 times we lost. I ran into a wall versus Washington because they gave me a 7. And I get it, guys. I know why he lost. I get it at the end of the day. I shouldn't have played him. But I did that day, and I get it. The other one time that he didn't, that I played him was versus St. Louis the first time. And that's another team running into a fucking wall, guys, that you just don't want to play strikeout props with. But they put the number low enough. They baited me on those 2 times. They got me. They didn't get me the other 3 times he's lost. Oh, the other 2 times he's lost. The only other time was the Chicago Cubs. He pitched a good game, and I missed by the hook. So the one game he's got me in the balls, guys, at the end of the day with this number 7. When I look versus these numbers, I'm not afraid versus this team. They are not hitting the fucking ball. 219 average with a 606 OPS, and they're walking 5.9% of the time, only striking out mid-pack 21%. But I expect Zach Wheeler to be out there 7+ innings and to at least have a strikeout per inning versus this team. Just more worried about the rain at this moment. But yeah, definitely on me some candy cane today. What do you got to say about Zach fucking Wheeler?
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said. There's a lot to like here for Wheeler today. So for the season, he has a 91st percentile chase rating. So he's getting guys to chase on a well above MLB average on his pitches. Here's where that's important. The Marlins, over the last 30 days, 27th in MLB in outside the zone swing rate. However, they are only 20th in contact. So when I look for a guy to go over a prop, I'm not as concerned if they're swinging at a lot of pitches outside of the zone. What I do care about is if they swing at a bunch of them and they don't connect. And that's what's happening with the Marlins right now. Also, at home this year, he is striking out 31% of his right-handed batters that he faces. If you do the math and look at the number of plate appearances he's going to have, he doesn't need to average anywhere close to that to get the 7+. The other factor that we have going for us with Wheeler today is we got one of my boys for overs, Dougie Eddings, behind the plate. So he's an extreme pitcher's umpire. His strikeout percentage for the average is well above other MLB umpires, and it usually gives anywhere from a 3 to 6% boost to any pitcher on average over what their normal strikeouts would be. So the 140 for the juice, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite thing in the world to play. So if you're going to play Wheeler and you're going to do that juice, you can drink it. There's nothing wrong with that for a lesser stake. Or the other thing you can do is you could put a full unit on it and just a full unit total stake. So you just take a little bit of a reduced payout. It's basically the same thing. It's all about, do you want to have the risk in the play or do you want to have the risk financially? And that's a decision that you have to make for yourself. However, when I look at all things considered here for Zach Wheeler, there are a lot of things that are lining up for him to play very, very well. The other part here is over the last 30 days, same time period, Marlins have one of the highest first strike percentages in Major League Baseball, 63.2%. In fact, I believe it is the highest or top 3. When Zach Wheeler gets an 0-1 count on hitters, 37% K rate for the year. You add all that up, and under for sure isn't an option here. It's either over or pass, but I would definitely strongly support the over on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it out last night to my people as a dirty K full unit and had to have them cash out half of it just strictly on the weather, man. If it wasn't for the weather, I'd be hammering this bet, guys. And I've just been bit too many fucking times by the weather. And shout out to Heavenly Hurt. Let's fucking go. The dono. And we didn't even tell anybody today. You fucking rock, guys. Smash the like if you fucking haven't. Donos are just as fucking well accepted. Oh, yeah. Snap
With that
into a donation.
I can buy
What
myself 10 Slim Jims. Oh, yeah. With that donation, I can buy myself 10 Slim Jims. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro, we were cutting promos today, dude, just doing shit. And we didn't tell nobody, man. This was for the UFC show. So you rock, bro. Cool that we have some shit to throw out, dude, and we're just gonna have to keep it around. So 10 Slim Jims. Oh yeah. And if you know, I used to fucking have a little bit called the Guapo Man, and I'm really fucking into wrestling. It's WWF, not WWE. I'm sorry you pansies had to change your name later on in life. I grew up in the Attitude Era. I'm sorry. It's not WWE. So let's get back into baseball. You guys rock. Smash the like if you haven't already. 50 live on a Tuesday, and it ain't Taco Tuesday. It's Pitching Tuesday. Well, let's get into the next guy. I'm going to break down his K-prop and what they have him on Prize Picks, and I'm going to let you get after him first. So we're going to talk about Shane Bieber, and he's going up versus the Tigers here. They have him at 8+ at plus 103, and on Prize Picks at a 7. His 7+ is at a minus 134, and his fantasy score is at a 42.5. What info do you got for these people before I pollute them with mine?
Well, first of all, Bieber strikes the shit out of the Tigers. For the projected lineup for tonight, 35.3% K rate, lifetime in 119 plate appearances. That's a really good sample size. Normally, I consider 50 or above, probably 50 to 60 or above, enough of a sample size to really, really factor that one in. Bieber's got an 83rd percentile whiff rate for the season. And over the last 30 days, the Tigers have a 26th in swinging strike percentage. So those two things correlate really nice. I faced him 3 times this year. Has, for lack of a better term, dominated them the vast majority of the last 5 to 6 times he's faced them. So I will lean on the over here. It's probably not one that I'm going to play. The only thing that is just giving me pause, and this is a mind fuck that I do to myself, guys. So I would not tell you that this should pause you. It pauses me because is that this is the 4th time that he's faced this team this year. And so when a guy is facing a team for the 4th time and the number is that high, sometimes those two things don't go well together. But if anybody can get it done, it's Shane Bieber. For me, I'm going to pass. However, if you're going to play the over on this one, I don't blame you a bit.
Well. Happens to be I am on this over, and we don't tell each other what we're on before this show. So this is my dirty K of the day, and it's Shane Bieber. And like he said, he owns the fucking Tigers. Like, he has a fucking parking space at Tiger Stadium, front row Lexus Club, guys. This guy gets driven in, no traffic. They open up the side gates. He comes in and he puts his nuts on the table, and he fucks the Tigers in the eye hole every fucking time they play. Even on a back-to-back. Like, fuck, bro. Tigers, bro, you've got to them one time in the last fucking 2 years, and you've traded that team, guys. At the end of the day, your main RBI source this year has been Robbie Grossman. He gone. And like you said, guys, when I dig through the black book, he's number 18, guys. And you don't get to number 18 by being a fucking chump. You strike people out, and you do what you got to do to help pay Sharpie's bills. Over the last 10, he's striking out 6.3 a game, and over the last 6.3 a game. Nothing new there. At home, it's 8.8 strikeouts per 9, and it goes up to 9.4 on the road. Where do we got him? We got him on the road. That favors us as well. Left-handed, right-handed, he does strike out right-handers, 10.9 per 9 innings, and a 10.3 left-handed, and they are projected 5 left-handed, 4 right-handed. And then I look into those averages real quick. Lefties are hitting $180 off this guy. So do you really want to put lefties in this lineup versus this guy? Because you're not getting on base. So that may be a reason why he fucking owns you, Tigers, guys. At the end of the day, you're going to stack a lefty team where he just dominates that side of the plate. I mean, the strikeouts drop down a half per 9, but that's 10.3 is still immaculate from that side of the plate. To strike out, that means you own both sides. And this guy's going to go 6+ innings in his sleep. And when I run these numbers up versus the numbers today, He hasn't seen these numbers all fucking year versus Detroit. At the end of the day, bam, hasn't seen them. And then my light went boosh. At least I got another light, but yeah. At the end of the day, guys, they're walking 4.8% with a 26.4 strikeout percentage, 233 average, and a 635 OPS over the last 200 plate appearances. Well, let's drop that down to the fucking trade deadline, and it goes to a 4 walk percent with a 30 strikeout percent, guys. Like, they've gone south from their 200 plates and their month-long numbers. This team is a team to pick on, and Bieber hasn't seen them since July 6th, guys, over a month. I expect this guy to go in there and put his nuts on the table versus a team that's just ready to give up. So I'm on the over 6.5 at -134. And that is a full unit play today. So, yeah, man, let's talk about the next guy, the Cookie Man. We're not talking about Cookie Monster. We're talking about the guy you hit me up last week, like, why is it so low? Like, I want to fucking slam the fuck out of him. And I'm like, bro, I'm a pussy. I think he gets hit hard, but he's going to cash. And he cashed.
Yeah.
And he got hit. So, I mean, like, at the end of the day, both happened. And I learned another fucking thing about Carlos Carrasco, guys, and we'll talk about him when we get to it. They have him at 6+ at -150, and that's exactly where they open. So I'm not one of those guys who follows the money, and that to me tells me there ain't no fucking money coming in right now where they're getting enough on both sides to leave it. There is a 20% chance of rain at first start of pitch, and he's going up versus the Reds, guys. On Prize Picks, they have him at a 5.5 strikeouts and a 37.5 fantasy score. He averages 8.6 strikeouts at home compared to 9 on the road, and strikes out in 1 per inning versus righties compared to 8.6 per 9 versus lefties. So pretty much a strikeout per inning, no matter which way you go with the Cookie Man Carlos Carrasco. So we get into his shit now, guys, and he's number 32 in the black book, and he has a home 3.41 ERA compared to a road 4.4. He is at home today, and he gets another fucking great spot. At the end of the day, this guy has been beasting it. When I dig into the black book, guys, he has 5 wins and 1 loss to the number 24% K percentage. When I dig through every fucking team he's played in a two-week period, if they've had a 24% K rate or higher, he has 5 wins and 1 loss to the number 6. This guy dominates that number. Not everybody is easy as looking at the strikeout number. Carlos Carrasco's shown me that over this many amount of games, he is that easy, guys. And when I dig into it deeper, he's 2-0 to when he faces a team with a 26% K rate, and now he gets a team with a 26.4 over their last fucking 15 days. Oh, man, everything says Cookie Man's eating today, guys. 6.7 walk percentage, 26.4 K percentage with a 223 average and a 635 OPS with a 130 ISO. This team ain't fucking hitting, and he's been money, guys, and I expect this guy to keep being money. And I've got a half unit on that 6+ -150 strictly due to the rain. If it wasn't the rain, I'd be on it full unit like Wheeler, guys. I cannot put myself out there to get kicked in the balls by rain. I'll get kicked in the balls by juice, but at least it's a half unit, guys. So got to be careful sometimes, and got to do a little more digging in on the rain. So I like to look at one thing, and then if it says rain, then I like to go look for real forecasts, news weathers from that fucking city and app, guys. And a lot of things told me rain with Wheeler, but then when I dug into it, it told me there was rain at the beginning, and then it dies off. So they may not start that game until later. My perfect bet on the Wheeler thing is they play tomorrow, and I get in a full unit, but at the end of the day, you don't get what you want all the time. Life ain't Burger King. You can't have it your way, they used to tell me in juvenile detention. And I'm pissed off, like, fuck you, bitch. I don't even need a Burger King now. That's how mad I am over that statement. So, yeah, what you looking at with the Cookie Monster?
Yeah, so with Carrasco, it's an interesting contrast for me, because the big thing that's made me shy away from him in certain spots in the past has been his walks, and the fact that he runs up his pitch count. So he has 2+ walks in nearly all of his last 10 starts. In fact, only I think 7 of 10 he's had 2+ walks, including one where he walked 5 against the Nats, he walked 3 against the Astros, and then he had 4 starts in a row where he walked 2 straight. Where I go with that one is for higher counts for Carrasco. For higher props for Carrasco, if he's going to run his walk total up like that and go deeper into counts as he has, then he can pitch himself out of the game before he could hit a prop like that. However, Much, much better the last two starts. Much better. 7 Ks, 6 Ks, and he went into the 6th inning on both. Actually, in against the Marlins, he almost went to the 8th. So the big thing with Carrasco here, though, is he has one of the highest strike percentage is for every starting pitcher in baseball, almost 70%. That even for even Garrett Cole doesn't have that high of a percentage. Shane Bieber doesn't have that high of a percentage. That's nuts. The Reds, they're average 63.1%. That's in the middle of the pack. When you look at all the swing metrics for the Reds as well, they're not good. They're not bad. They're just all kind of in the middle. They rank anywhere from 13th to 17th in swings, contact, total contact, etc. But going back to the first strike percentage, when Carrasco gets strike one on a hitter first, he strikes them out 32% of the time. When he doesn't, it's only 19. That's actually one of the biggest gaps among all starting pitchers with enough innings to qualify. We have an umpire behind the plate with Pat Hoberg. Probably won't factor too much into the game. He's a little bit slanted to hitters. Don't let that bother you. When I talk about umpires as well, for those of you that haven't listened to me talk about K-props before, I mentioned the umpire and I use it pretty much as a tiebreaker. It is not the be-all, end-all factor because there have been umpires that have been super hitters umpires that never call fucking strikes, and a guy like Bieber or a guy like Kershaw will strike out 10. So for Carrasco, for me, this is an over or nothing. So if you're playing this one, you got to be on the over. Playing a under with the Reds on the road against a pitcher that throws like he does, quite simply is not an option.
I mean, I love everything you were saying there, and the fact that they're walking fucking bottom 7 right now at a 6.7%, dude, just leans into Carrasco and cookie time. Bring in the fact that Bassett was my play, and I definitely watched that game yesterday. 3 of their starters went down to injury. They lost 3 fucking guys yesterday, guys. Jonathan India went down. Farmer got hurt right before the game, and Moustakas got hurt running the bases, guys. So, like, you're going to put in shittier players on a shitty team? Holy motherfuck of God, can it be a day for the cookie man. But like you say, he can be a head case. And it's just crazy. I was watching the game, and they were talking about Carlos Carrasco and how good he's been and how deep he's been going. And how can you not get better when you've got Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom on your team? Look at what Bassett just did. Look at their rotation is the nastiest in fucking baseball right now. Like, hands fucking down.
Not even close.
Holy shit. Woo!
And at this point in the year, too, you got to figure from Carrasco and Bassett's perspective, obviously, for those 3 main starting roles in the playoffs, when you go into a playoff series, deGrom and Scherzer obviously have 2 of them locked up. So those guys are essentially fighting each other for that last starting spot in the playoffs. So, yeah. So who's it going to be? Because it's going to be one of the 2 of them. It's probably not going to be David Peterson. So you have Bassett or Carrasco, and then the other one might be a spot starter if they have games in close proximity, or might come right off out of the pen in long relief. So in a playoff, but if you're one of those guys, you want to pitch your ass off for the rest of the season, and you want to show your manager that, like, hey, game 3 of whatever our first playoff series is, I belong on the mound.
Yeah, and right now, though, I was preaching yesterday, Bassett's the best number 3 in all of fucking baseball at the end of the day. They're freaking beasting it and have been killing it all fucking day. So, yeah. We're going to hit a quick commercial and get right back to these next 3 fucking pitchers, guys. We're probably going to skip hitting. We might get to it real quick, but it's too much fun talking pitching with this guy. So we're not going to skip over, and we're not going to fast forward. We're just going to hit this commercial and get right back to what we do best. Cash caper. Yes, sir. Go over there and use freaking that promo code Pub Sports. Why? Get that lawnmower 4.0 and don't hedge your bets, hedge your balls, and watch your lady take care of you a little more often, guys. So do yourself a favor and let her do you some more favors, guys. Trim that wizard sleeve. So let's talk about these next three pitchers, baby. We've got old man Uncle Charlie Morton. His K prop came out last night at a 7+ plus 125 or a 6+ at minus 165. And it's been hit to the under, 55-cent juice down to the under on this man, to where he's now at a 6+ minus 110 on Price Picks and a 7+ at plus 118. This man has been hit to the under. Can you tell us why, or can you give us your information on this guy before I pollute them once again?
Yeah, one of the reasons that I see here is that Morton, of today's starters, has the second lowest first strike percentage of every single starting pitcher going today. The only one that's worse is Kyle Bradish, who's facing the Blue Jays. The Red Sox actually, for as poorly as they've been playing and for as many indications that they're just kind of, essentially just packing it in and kind of on cruise control the rest of the season, they also have one of the lowest first strike percentages as well, 60%. That's really, really good. Under 60 over a month's time frame is very rare. What happens with Morton when he doesn't get strike one, especially on the road, is his strikeout percentage goes down into the low 20s. And actually, in some cases, it's been under 20. So Morton on the road can be a little bit wild. And when, at Fenway, not getting that strike one, I can see where people would want to shy away here from the over. Now, for me personally, this is probably going to be one that I'm off, because I also see a number of indications that would say, no, he probably can hit this pretty easily, especially when you figure over the last 30 days, Red Sox at home against right-handed pitchers, 26.9% K rate, and the projected lineup for the Red Sox, 25.4% K rate against Morton lifetime in 130 plate appearances. Those are good, healthy numbers. The other thing here too is the Red Sox over the same time period, 27th in the league in swinging strike percentage. I have to be honest with you, I use first strike percentage a lot in my model. I have a whole formula for it built into multiple spreadsheets. The first pitch strike percentage stuff, especially on the road, is just mind fucking me right now. So it's not one that I'm going to play the under on, most likely. However, for me, it's probably one that I'm just off of.
I get it. And this is where I'm going to talk about, if you like to do alt-type parlays and pull a pitcher down, I'm going to give you some reasonings why you should probably pull old Uncle Charlie down to 5. But like you said, I could come up with reasonings for the over or the under. And when I dig into the black book, guys, it's straight crazy, guys, okay? Over the last 10 games, he's averaging 8 strikeouts per game. Over the last 6, it's at 7.2. They opened it at a 7+, guys, and it got hit. So they're giving you now a number that the man's done fucking smashed his averages over the last 10, 8, 6 games, whatever. So it's a trap, right? And at the end of the day, if you look at these guys' strikeout numbers over the last 15 days, they're walking 7.4% of the time, striking out at a 24.6 clip with a 228 average, 654 OPS, and an ISO of only a 135. Well, if we break it down to the trade deadline, because they did get some new pieces, and I mean, I don't like to base everything strictly off a week of numbers, but it pretty much matches it. 8.8 walk percentage, so it goes up to a 1% on the walk percentage. Same strikeout percentage at a 24% clip, 222 average, 643 OPS with an ISO of 125. So the only thing that's changed since the deadline is they started walking just a wee bit more, and that's going to happen when you get Rafael Devers back in your lineup, and that's going to happen when you get an Eric Hosmer in your fucking lineup. So you've got a guy who will take his pitches and who will not chase now in that lineup. So this lineup isn't the same as if you just look at the numbers, guys. That's why I tell you all the time, numbers are like lawyers. They don't necessarily lie to you. They just don't tell you all the truth. It's our job to figure it out. So my things here, when I dig into number 11 in the black book, and like you said, he is averaging 11.2 strikeouts per 9 at home compared to a 9.5 on the road. That's a drastic difference, guys. To me, that tells me he doesn't hide the ball well. and his jersey color at home may help him just a wee bit more than his color on the road, guys. So I know stupid shit like that you may laugh at, but I do pay attention to stupid stuff like that. Hence why I call Zach Wheeler my fucking candy cane, because at home, if they're not wearing some stupid city jersey, he's got a white jersey with red pinstripes, the color of a baseball. Pick that up, motherfuckers. But like I said, we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about Charlie Morton, and he averages 10.7 strikeouts from the left-handed side and 10.2 from the right-handed. They are projected 5 right-handed and 4 left-handed. But one of those left-handed bats is Alex Verdugo, and I picked this shit up while watching the game like a week or two ago, and this is why I preach, turn the fucking volume on the radio. You can get so much information from these guys who pull information for hours to feed it to you and just keep the fucking airwaves going and going and going with stupid stats, which aren't always stupid, guys. There are such thing as stupid questions. There's no such thing as stupid stats. So, Alex Verdugo, left-handed bat, right? He strikes out left. He's at a 10.7. Alex Verdugo is the #1 left-handed bat in baseball and not striking out. Throw that into the lineup with that, guys. And like, you got a guy who strikes out at less than 10% of the time right now in that lineup. So, I mean, a lot of things are telling me yes and no. I dig into his home road ERA. He has been better at home, 3.41 compared to a 4.82 on the road. And I dig into the black book, guys. And he's 4 wins, 4 losses to a 24% K rate. Like, once again, I tell you guys, it's not always as easy as just looking at a K percentage. Some people are, some people aren't. But with him, he's 4 wins, 4 losses to that number and higher. And that's why he's my guy over here saying, I can tell you things for under and over. Well, I'm telling you the same thing with a different way of breaking it down. And he's 4-4 to this fucking just a strikeout number. So let's get a little higher. We know that they are at a 24.6 right now. So keep that in mind when I read you off this stuff from the black book. We're going to dig deep into it. He's 2 wins and 1 loss when he faces a team walking above league average with a strikeout rate of 24% or higher, and averaging 9.3 strikeouts a game. Well, 2 wins and 3 losses to teams that walk below league average while striking out at a 24% clip. So this goes into weird. Usually teams that don't walk, you would strike out more. But not with Charlie Morton. He needs teams that are walking at a good clip for him to strike people out more, which is weird. Weird as fuck. But I have fucking 19 games to look at, and I dug through 6 of them, and I had to figure out what's the difference, and that was the difference, guys. Like, teams that are patient strike out more than teams that are not. And what do we got with the Red Sox? Well, if you go by their their last 15 days, they're not walking above league average. So that plays to his under. And then if you go to, since the trade deadline, they are. That goes to his over. There's too much fucking shit here. Under, over, that I can't fucking choose. What I was able to pin down is he has 5 strikeouts in 7 of the 8 games with a team at 24% or more. Like, that's enough to make me drop Charlie Morton down to 5 and feel comfortable with him at 5, and then go hook him up with something later on down the line and bet him up to that. So if we get 50 likes, we got 70 deep in here live on a Tuesday. Shout out to you guys. I will give you the guy I hooked him up with and the Dirty K I'm on. That's not being talked about on this show because we only have so many pitchers to talk about. And I bet one that's not even in my book, guys. So let's fucking go. It's one of those days. It's one of those days. Shout out to you guys. I'm going to give you the props and let you talk about Musgrove first before I pollute them. Joe Musgrove is at 7+ at plus 108. Wait, did I let you talk? You did Martin first, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Just making sure I didn't skip you over. My bad. So Joe Musgrove is 7 at plus 108. 6+ is minus 205 on Prize Picks, and he's at a 37.5 fantasy score. He opened up at a 7+ plus 118. He's taking about 10 cents of juice to the over. Give us your words on Joe Musgrove.
Joe Musgrove is one of those, to me, he's kind of one of those like unsung heroes in that he's not a flashy name. He's not a marquee guy, but he just goes out and gets it done. I've actually really been impressed with how he has changed his pitch mix this year. I believe he changed his delivery a little bit too. He's been so much more effective. Just got that huge contract from the Padres, probably very deserved. But now he's at home tonight against the Giants. So over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching on the road, Giants only 22.9% strikeout right now. They have faced some pretty weak pitchers, some low strikeout pitchers during that period of time. So the 22.9 is probably not as indicative of what they're actually at. It's probably closer to like 24-ish. But the one stat that I did see is that in 132 plate appearances, the projected lineup of the Giants only 20.5% K percentage against Joe Musgrove. Musgrove has an 86th percentile chase rating, so he does try to get hitters to chase and throw pitches outside of the zone. However, over the last 30 days, the Giants 9th in lowest swing rate outside the zone. The Giants have been just an absolute fucking schizo team this year. They've gone through periods of 2 weeks where they're like 28th or 30th and just hacking at shit outside of the zone. And then they'll go for like 2 weeks where they're like second or third or top 10 like they are now. So I always try to proceed with extreme caution when I'm backing the Giants on a K prop. But for this one, for me, my lean is on the over, especially at the plus money, but I probably have no play on this one.
Oh man, it's kind of like you take some of the shit right out of my mouth, and I love the fact that we don't even talk on days before that we do a show together. So the fact is, I'm gonna tell you some shit why I'm not gonna bet Joe Musgrove, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 7. But I'm gonna tell you why I think he does not. So let's get to it. Over his last 10 games, he's averaging 6.2 strikeouts a game. Over his last 8, 6, and over his last 6, 6.3. Home, he averages 9.3 strikeouts a game per 9 compared to 8.8 on the road. We got him here at home. And then he dominates lefties compared to righties to a 9.4 and an 8.8 from the right-handed side. The Giants are projected 5 left-handed and 4 right-handed. Hold up, swole up. I'm going to get into some crazy crap right now about some stuff you should probably write down in your little golden ticket. And this is why I knew Strider was going to get whooped by the Giants. And I told you guys back then, guys. And not saying it's going to happen every time, but Joe Musgrove has not had 7 strikeouts in 2 games versus the Giants this year. 7 innings, both games. 0 earned runs, both games. Did not hit them strikeouts. Was it because exactly what Chris Gargaro said? Yeah, that had a lot to do with it. But it also has a lot to do with over the last 5 years, them and the Dodgers are the best fastball hitting teams in all of baseball. And when you throw a fastball over 40-something% of the fucking time, you're going to get fucking rocked by teams like this, guys. And last year he played them 3 different times and he didn't make it past 6 innings. This guy did hit them strikeouts 6+ innings last year. He averaged 5.4 strikeouts a game in the 3 games versus the Giants last year. And this year, he hasn't hit his K prop either. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not. This team is a really good fastball hitting team, guys. And that's his fucking main pitch. He's a fastball pitcher who plays off of it. Like, damn, there's a reason why he doesn't strike out a lot of Giants. Not saying he doesn't go out and do it today, but that's going to be the reason why I'm off. He ran up versus this team on July 7th. And they had a strikeout percentage of 25%. That's normally a look at and play on type. He only had 6 strikeouts versus that number versus them when they were striking out. They're now down to a 23.3. The only thing is they're now walking 6% of the time, and that is trash. If you're not going to take your fucking walks off of Joe Musgrove, this can be a long day. So you don't, like Chris was saying, he wants you to chase. He's going to set you up with that fastball. And if you aren't taking your walks, you couldn't be in trouble. Now, does that have a lot to do with a lot of their players have been in and out the lineup over the last 2 weeks? So take that into account. Jock Peterson had a concussion, was out a few days. He's now back in the lineup. There's just been ups and downs with this lineup. It's been a roller coaster, like he was saying, and I've always tracked shit over 2 weeks. So the Giants have been like this all fucking year long, and they still ride in the playoff hunt, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Just one more thing about Musgrove to what you were saying. So for the season, MLB average for pitchers throwing outside of the zone to try to get hitters to chase, 28.4% of pitches. Musgrove is 32.9, and actually at home it's even higher than that. So what I'm getting at here is that you're probably going to see a lot of pitches early in the count thrown either low, in, outside of the strike zone, trying to get them to chase. And when the Giants have that good of a swing rate, or that low of a swing rate outside of the zone, then can definitely see him getting in some 2-1, some 3-1, etc. counts.
Exactly. So shout out to the chat. Smash the like if you already haven't. Almost 100 live up in here. We've been getting there numerous of times. Why? Because we give you information that wins here, guys. We don't fucking toot our own horns. We just win tickets, guys. And at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. So let's talk about this last guy on the board. We're going to go to Chavez fucking Ravine, baby. We're going to talk about my guy, Julio Urias. He's at 6+ minus 141, 5.5 on Prize Picks, and his fantasy score is at a 35.5. He's averaging 6.1 strikeouts a game over his last 10, 5.6 over his last 8, and 5.2 over his last 6. Nothing there tells me really that it should be 6+, but other than over his last 10 games, and they've juiced it up because that's pretty much what he's averaging over his last 10 games. But what I've realized over the last week or so is they've been running more of that 8-game fucking average with this All-Star break-in, and this is dropping it back to the 10, and I haven't had to do that for anybody in the last few days to get to what they're projecting. And the strikeout numbers or nothing in these numbers are telling me that this should be juiced up higher than what it should be at, and I'm just having a little issue right here. He's averaging the same home road strikeouts per game per 9, 8.4 on the at home, 8.6 on the road. And he dominates lefties. Of course, he's a left-handed pitcher with 11.1 strikeouts per 9 compared to a 7.9 strikeouts per 9. And the Twins are projected to put out 7 right-handed bats and 2 left-handed bats today. Number 41 in the black book, guys. At the end of the day, he's been a fucking beast. 2.52 ERA versus the AL. He has career-wise 2.52 ERA versus the American League, a home 2.98 ERA, and a road 2.27 this year. The guy's been fucking elite all year long. 2 games versus the AL this year. Cleveland, 6 innings, 6 Ks, and the Angels, 7 innings, 8 Ks. We were on them both times. And Cleveland's one of those teams that you got to have a good fucking reason to run up against. They just don't swing and miss. And at that time, I thought I did, and I played it. They were giving me really good value. He was at a 5.5, I believe, plus money that day. So I'll take it. He's not at a 5.5 plus money now. He's at minus 141. And I mean, it's not the Cleveland fucking Guardians, who's a team that will destroy you and take your money betting K props. And they'll give you Justin Verlander at a 5.5, and they'll take your fucking money because it's the Cleveland Guardians. And yeah, you just got to be careful about that team. At the end of the day, they're one of the 4 or 5 teams that I have a fucking guarded up fence against, that I need to have a sword to fight through to go in there to bet on. And it's not always going to work. And like I said earlier about Wheeler, I ran into a wall versus Washington, knowing I shouldn't have did it that day. But at least I knew afterwards, okay, you can't run into a wall with this guy this year. He isn't fucking perfect. Well, that's fine. Being not perfect and knowing when to stay off a guy is the best thing in the fucking world, because they go by guys' averages. And if this guy was like Ohtani and DeGrom, you're going to get 10 and 12s and 13s and shit, guys. Like, if you're doing that every game, your average is going to be absurd. And you're going to be unfucking bettable, because that's what they're giving us is laws of averages here, guys. And they're giving us guys' averages. So at the end of the day, when I dig through the black book and what he's done versus American League teams, guys, and it's crazy that I have to like figure out, like, by the numbers, this team's hitting 181 ISO, 752 OPS, and a 247 average. They're walking league average and not striking out at a 20.9% clip versus left-handed bats the last 200 plate appearances. But I had to go all the way back to July 12th to get 200 plate appearances versus this team. They have not seen a lot of lefties. So they're like, their numbers are kind of like poofity-piffity to me right now. So I've got to dig a little deeper. They are hitting the ball 181 ISO, guys. ISO is a calculated tool that brings in singles, doubles, triples, and home runs and adds it in. 140 is average, guys. Anything above 170 is great. They're at a 181 right here. They're hitting They're hitting for some power right now, guys. And that's not always a bad thing, because when I go look through the black book, when he faces a team with a 170 ISO or better, not in Colorado, I'm going to fucking throw out Colorado games, guys. Like, don't take that into your capping, please. And let's see what this fucker does. He's 4-2 to the number 6, averaging 7.5 strikeouts a game. Everything screams over on the way he pitches versus the American League in his career. Everything says over versus going versus a team in the ISO, but that's not what I run overs off of, guys. I was just trying to figure out, why is he hitting this number? Why are they giving this number? I don't understand it. Like, I don't know why they juiced up him one more than what he's been averaging his last 10. And maybe our guy can let us know. So you got any info on our boy Julio?
Yeah, so have some info on Julio, but for those that don't know, I'm actually from Minnesota. So the Twins are my team. I watch this team every day, and I can tell you a few things about their projected lineup. So first I'll talk about Urias. So for the season, his advanced pitching metrics have gotten a lot better than the start of the season. They were his chase rate is in the 80th percentile. His walk rate, meaning low walk rate, is in the 88th percentile. Both of those have almost doubled in where he was a month and a half or 2 months ago. Sharpie, you mentioned he's striking out lefties at an insane clip, 32.4%. So the Twins would be wise not to put too many in the lineup today. But let me talk about the Twins a little bit here. So for Urias, or for the Twins, in the last 30 days, 256 plate appearances against left-handed pitching, strikeout percentage sub 20. Now, they have had some shitty ones in there. I will admit that, because they've been some divisional games, and let's just face it, the AL Central is probably the weakest division in baseball. I freely admit that as a Twins fan. Now, when you look at their lineup and their projected lineup right now, you have projected to be starting Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez strikes out over 40% of the time against left-handed pitching. He has very limited history against Urias, which would actually favor the over, which would actually favor strikeouts there. The guy just cannot get out of his own way and striking out against left-handed pitching. So if he's in the lineup, you probably got to put him up for at least one strikeout, possibly two here. You also have Jake Cave, who's projected to be in the lineup, who's a left-handed batter. Never faced Urias, that favors the over. You also look at Jake Cave is a free swinging fool. He swings early, he swings often. So I would probably lean towards, especially because he's a lefty, that you might get a strikeout or two there as well. And the last one that I want to talk about is, and he's probably gonna hit leadoff, is Byron fucking Buxton. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Bucks. We love him here. I want him to stay here long term, but let me tell you, and it's funny because my VIP, like after they watch Twins games, they're like, that's exactly what you said was going to happen, because I watch this guy every day. As I said, first at bat, I said he will hack at whatever the first pitch is. Doesn't fucking matter. Second pitch he'll take, which is probably going to be a strike, and then in two strike mode, his two-strike hitting mode is, I'm going to hit the ball to Mars. And what that results in is a 25 to 26% strikeout rate versus left-handed pitching, especially for somebody that has a wipeout breaking ball like Urias does. So last thing I want to talk about with the Twins here and with Urias is Urias has not faced them this year. If you go back and look at pitchers that are facing a team for the first time at home on a Tuesday, that's how deep I go with this shit. 71% to the over, no matter what the number is. 71%. This is over or nothing for me. I personally think that he could get 8 or 9 here, especially if Sanchez starts. I'm going to wait and see what the lineup is on this one. I want to see if Buxton, Sanchez, and Cave are in the lineup, because if all three of them are, then you're probably looking at least 3 strikeouts right there, right off the top. And then that shortens the number he has to get considerably. So when I'm on the fence about a one, guys, what I like to do is I do go hitter by hitter. And I look at hitters that have an extremely high percentage chance of striking out. And so what I do then is I look at the number, and then suddenly a 7.5 or a 6.5 or an 8+, it doesn't look that daunting, because I'm like, well, these two guys are shitty and they're probably going to strike out once each. So now instead of an 8, now he's only got to hit a 6. And then it's like, what are the odds of him hitting a 6 against the rest of the lineup? So when you break it down like that, if those 3 guys are in the lineup against Urias, it's going to take a lot to keep me off the over here.
Well, this guy is from Minnesota. I'm from California and watch all the Dodger fans. And, man, something popped into my head from the last game he pitched out. Urias's velo was back up to last game out, guys. And all year long, he's been down at that 92, 93. This guy was touching 96, 97 again. And, oh, man, yeah, you're right, bro. You're talking me into some Julio. So I'm going to check out that lineup. And like I said, everything's screaming over. I didn't know why. This man right here just gave me a whole lot of good information. And, yeah, if some of those guys are in the lineup, I'm going to have to be on some damn Julio today. Let's go, Julio! Shout out to the chat, guys. Smash the like if you guys haven't. We're 6 likes away from giving out my last Dirty K of the day that we did not talk about. Mr. Gargaro, a.k.a. the Spin Doctor. Where can they find you at, my guy?
Yeah, so at Spin Doc Sports, you follow me there. I typically, on most days, I didn't do it yesterday because the card was super small, but most days I do have a public play, tout play. So I will have one of those tonight. I typically post it an hour to an hour and a half before first pitch. So I don't know exactly who it's going to be yet, but there actually are a bunch of strong contenders. I actually got to whittle the list down a little bit here later this afternoon, but there will be a public play that I will post. My public play is typically an under. I do over sometimes, but usually I just leave the overs to the guy on the left of my screen here. So like I said all throughout last year, is that Sharpie plays overs, I play unders, bookies get fucked in their ass. Best
like right in the ass, bro. I'll get him in the eye hole and you get him in the ass, bro. We wobbly H that bitch. Wop 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 wop. Well, guys, I'm going to hit a commercial. We have enough time to hit the 2 batting props that I am going to bet today. I'm not going to run through all 5 I was going to talk about, but I'll talk about the 2 I bet. So thank you for joining us, Chris. We're going to hit a quick commercial and get to some hitting props.
Good luck, guys. See ya.
Yes, sirree, Bobski, guys. We're going to talk about these last 2 fucking hitting props that I bet today. I did have a bunch broke down to talk about, but we're only got time to talk about the 2 that I bet. Shout out to you guys who hit the like. I am on Jeffrey Springs of the Tampa Bay Rays, over 4.5 strikeouts today, guys. That is a Dirty K. That is not a guy that we broke down on the show today, guys. So he's on the Tampa Bay Rays. He's going to be the primary pitcher. He's not the opener. 4.5 is stupid. I've got him for 6+. He's at a -140. If you cannot get him at that -140 to -150 at 4.5, I suggest pulling him down to 4 with Charlie Morton at 5, and you'll get yourself a -113 parlay. So, yeah, let's talk about these last 2 motherfucking dudes. And one of them's posted on my wall. So, Jock Peterson versus Joe Musgrove. 19 plate appearances, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch. Batting .471, 8 hits, guys, off this guy. 7 of them are for extra bases, 2 doubles, a tripski, and 4 yoppers, guys. Yoppy yop. This guy loves him some high heat. I preach it all the time. He loves him some fucking velocity from the right-handed side. 15 of his 17 home runs are from right-handed pitchers. And, yeah, he owns this guy at .471, guys, in 19 plate appearances. Give me his 2+ bases is at +129. That's a bet I am on today. Padres' pin over the last 30 is 21st in the league with a 4.09. But if we break it down to the last 15, they are elite. 2.89, top 10 in the league. So, yes, I expect him to get a hit off Musgrove. He's going to see him 3 times. His average says he gets a hit 2 out of 4 times, every 5 out of 10. So, and they're fucking for extra bases. So, give me the plus 129 on Jock Peterson. Please and fucking thank you. Shout out to the chat. Without you guys, there is no show. Smash the like I smash BBWs on a Saturday night because I can't do it on a weekday, guys. I do my blessings for the Church of Whale Jesus Cristo. It's not a daily thing. So let's talk about what is a daily thing for my guy, LJ from Houston, guys. He's been betting the shit out of this guy, and he's been doing nothing but cash fucking tickets. Austin Riley versus lefties is batting 362 compared to a 274. His slugging from the right-handed side is an elite 528. Goes up to a fucking out-of-this-world 752. And his OPS goes from an amazing 857 from the right-handed side to an absurd 1,200 OPS versus the left-handed side. This guy is a goddamn man-child. Let's do a little math on this guy. He's averaging 1 home run in every 11 at-bats versus lefties and 1 home run in every 16 at-bats versus right-handed pitching. We got Dick Mountain on the mound, guys. We got Rich Hill, a lefty, guys. He's a 2-pitch pitcher. And Austin Riley, if you miss, is punishing pitchers who miss right now. He owns the left-handed side and fucks the right-handed side in their eye hole as well, guys. Bullpen is just garbage. The worst bullpen, 30th over the last 30 days, 30th over the last 15 days, 5+ to 6+ ERA. Either way you want to look at it, they've been sucking donkey dick, guys, at the end of the day, and we're going to attack the pitcher and the bullpen here, guys. And yeah, his 2+ bases is at a minus 130. I'm on it, guys. There's no way I'm not going to get on this guy who averages a double every 8 at-bats off of a left-handed pitcher. Like, this guy fucking just yops him and tops him, guys. So titties out, yitties out, guys. We're going to be on some Austin Riley, 2+ bases, minus 130, and Jock Peterson, 2+ bases, plus 129. Shout out to the chat. Dirty K's are all over the board today. Go catch the replay. If you haven't, I am on Bieber over 6.5 at minus 134 for a full unit on the Dirty K. I am on Springs over 4.5 minus 140 on the Dirty K. And I've got half units on Carrasco and Wheeler because of rain, or else I would Dirty K them as well. Today is Tuesday. We pop bookies in the eyes. Until next time, let's go to the money.
Fuck the bookies, FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies.